Hello! Welcome back to Superman 4 with a side of popcorn. We did it, ladies, gentlemen, NBs. We watched Superman 4, and we're here to talk about it. But first, that's Rose.
Hi.
And I'm John. And we want to say thank you for going on this adventure with us so far, whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on podcast services, or being extra awesome by getting that Tier 2 CouchCapades membership on YouTube so you can watch along with us all these movies that we're doing on a side of popcorn.
So many movies.
If possible, obviously. There's a couple movies we won't be able to do because we're going to go see them in theaters. But yes, side of popcorn. We're hanging out every other week. We're talking movies. We're doing the Superman season this year. The first season of A Side of Popcorn is the Superman season. That's what I was trying to say.
We're watching all the old Superman movies.
And you know what? We watched a movie.
We sure did.
We 100% watched a movie.
We sure did.
People were paid. Mm-hmm. People semi-acted.
Kind of.
Direction was given. An editor cut up the movie. Sound and audio was Christopher Reeve donned the cape again.
And he got a writing credit.
Out of this. Mm-hmm. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, directed by Sidney J. Furie. Yep, we'll go with that one. Starring Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Margot Kidder, and John Cryer. That's weird. This movie clocked in at an hour and 30 minutes flat.
Yes, thankfully.
And they could not have gone any longer, or it would have been so much worse.
Oh, I so much appreciated the runtime.
And it already was. So our quick synopsis, just a quick synopsis before we get into everything. With the world on the brink of nuclear war, Superman takes it upon himself to destroy all nuclear weapons. However, Lex Luthor creates Nuclear Man, a force strong enough to take down Superman.
Yep. That was the movie. In an hour and a half. I mean, they left out Lacey.
Lacey?
Yeah.
Who was Lacey?
She was the magazine publicist.
The new editor,
Yes.
Her name
is Lacey.
Her name was Lacey? Oh my God, it was Lacey. I'm not going to pull any punches on anyone for this. Let's talk about it. Overarching view. I hated this movie. Mm-hmm. You said Lacey. I'm like, her name was not Lacey.
Her name was Lacey.
It is, yeah. Lacey Warfield, played by Mariel Hemingway.
Yeah.
I am shocked because I didn't factor in that I did not catch her name.
Oh, I had to listen for it. Somewhere about 3/4 of the way into the movie, I realized that I didn't know her name, and I was just like, "What is her name?"
Lacey, look, if you're an audio or video watcher, Lacey's right there behind us. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, that should just tell you what I Rose, why don't you take over for a little bit? Tell me what you think. What were your thoughts on Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, as I bring up my notes as well?
So I think that I was in a better mood watching this than Superman 3 because I was entertained.
You were entertained. Okay.
I was entertained. It's an awful movie.
Sure.
But I was entertained.
Okay. Let's get into this because I don't want to bag on it too hard. I'll tell a movie when a movie's bad. This is a bad movie. But I also understand someone out there, whether you're listening to this when it comes out or you just stumble upon this podcast, is going to hate us because this is your favorite movie. Yeah, I respect you.
Which is fair.
Which is fine. I get that. This movie's awful.
I love plenty of bad movies, so no hate if you love this one.
But one of my favorite movies is Super Mario. We'll get to that one. The OG John Leguizamo one, Bob Hoskins.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Lacey was so much better than Lana.
Are we about to throw some hands? Are we about to debate Lacey versus Lana?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go. You know what? Let's just throw the
Lana's a terrible mother.
Oh, I'm not going to fight you on that one. No, absolutely not.
Plus, Lana was just there in the world. Like, she happened to go to high school with Clark.
Okay. Yes, that's very true.
Superman's cool.
Yeah.
That's Lana.
Yeah. Okay.
Lacey had a little bit of.
agency.
She had more agency. She had a little bit of strife with her dad.
Yeah. She was a more
She had
well-rounded
She had
female
a
character.
strange relationship with her dad.
Yeah.
And she was more invested in both Clark and Superman than Lana ever appeared to be. To me.
Okay, hold on. You are not wrong in your statements. I'm going to be honest with you because you're right. Lacey, which I'd still have to. Oh my God, that was her name. I'll have to get over that one real fast. Lacey was a better character because you are right in the idea that she was invested in Clark and invested in Superman.
Don't get me wrong. There were plenty of problems with her character. And like, I'm not trying to say that she's a good character.
Sure.
And I don't know.
She was a better character.
She was a better character between the two of them. Like, neither one of them is a great character on their own.
Fair. Very, very fair. You actually broke me because I'm really taking in your argument of she was a well-rounded character.
Yeah.
She actually showed a character arc.
Look, she was going for a career and love.
I mean,
She was doing both.
You're right.
And like, when a guy was being a jerk, she called him out on it. Wasn't to his face, but she called him out on it.
She had a better character arc than most people in
really
Superman.
Did.
In the 4 movies, she had a better character arc.
Yeah. As a secondary character that like nobody cared about.
Rose, I'm glad you didn't warn me that you're just going to come out swinging.
I didn't know I was coming out swinging. I thought we watched the same movie.
I just wasn't. I guess. So okay. Okay, hold on. We're focusing on one character, which is fine. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a conversation.
The villains were better.
The villains.
This was a better movie than Superman 3.
What are we doing right
The
now?
pacing was better. The villains were better. The strife between Lacey and Lois was better than whatever happened between Lana and Lois.
Okay.
Like, Lacey and Lois, like, Lois actually wanted to be like a mentor to Lacey. Like, it was kind of sweet at times. Like, you could tell Lois had had enough. But, like, there was still interaction, and like Lois was trying to like give her some tips about the job. Like, it wasn't just about the guy. But like, this was a better movie. Like, Nuclear Man, please. But Nuclear Man was still a better bad guy than Yo-Yo Man in Superman 3. What was his name? See?
Yeah, Richard Pryor's character.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other not Lex billionaire.
Yes. Nuclear Man was much better than the billionaire in 3. And Lex will always trump.
Yeah, Lex is one of the best villains.
Lenny was better.
Yeah.
Lenny, the only person that Lenny was not better than was not Miss Tessmacher. What was her name? The one who was a bimbo but wasn't, and then she, like, I wish that they developed her character.
We thought she was a spy.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. I'm going to honestly, I had to look up Lenny too. And I was like, oh, that was John Cryer. This sounds disconnected.
I had to sit there and try and find the names for my notes. Otherwise, I would have no idea.
This is how disconnected I was.
Because I was just like, half the time I was like, Lex's nephew. And then I was just like, what is his name?
This truly shows how disconnected I was from this, where I just kind of like, I didn't care.
Oh, that's fair.
And so as you're like, again, this is what I love, and this is why I love talking to movies about you. So you and I, we watched the same movie, but we watched a completely different movie.
Yes.
And now as you're kind of talking me through it, like you saying Lois was being a mentor, I know exactly what scene you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, that one went right over me. And not in a bad way. Not in a bad way, just because
but it was just like so such a side buried conversation that like wasn't highlighted at all. But the fact that it was there in the 80s says a lot.
It does. You're 100% right. You are turning me a little bit more so than I was anticipating with the comment. Like, yes, Lacey, God, is a better character. She's one of the, you're right. Like in the form of side character, blonde bimbo that we really shouldn't care about because that's how they started. And I think that's what it was. When she pulled in Clark to talk to him, she kind of like Playboy bunny, like.
But then like she turned around from that, and I was just like,
I missed that.
What?
I will be 100% honest with you.
Yeah, like you're supposed to write her off right there from the beginning,
and that is truly on me.
And then like she came back around, and I was like, wait, hold up,
like that's on me. Like you said that, and I'm like, no, shit, you're right because. They played it, and unfortunately, I turned it off. I'm like, oh, you're just like,
she's like,
I find it interesting you're going after Clark, but that's, and like, I
like, she was going after a dad bod.
Yeah.
I mean, not because Clark doesn't have a dad bod, but like,
just going after the puppy.
Yeah.
That's what she was going after the puppy.
Yeah.
And
she was going over after this really nice man who is older than her.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. And like she wasn't trying to get him because he had money or anything like that. She was the boss.
Yeah, she's the
one that has the money. Like she just liked Clark.
I don't know what to say. Like you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Like I see what you're saying and I follow your logic.
I'm very curious if she's anything like that in the comics.
If she was in the comics.
She was.
She was?
Yeah, I was trying to find her for our slideshow back here and it showed her in the comics. So I don't know if she was introduced in the comics first or if she was in the movie first. But yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Weatherfield, her dad was, I'm assuming he was in the comics.
Warfield. I'm shocked. You're 100%. You're right.
Guys,
right.
Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. I appreciate you all being here.
Yeah, like how fascinating. God damn, you are 100% right. How fascinating to see. And we'll say it was filmed in 1986 because it came in 1987, give or take.
Yeah.
Like how fascinating it is to see that those women enroll.
Yeah.
And to see that on film and it's there and
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I guess
I've broken Jon.
You did. And Lacey wanted to be with Clark.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like it was going one route.
Like she also wanted to make sure that her dad was proud of her, but like she also did want to have not the same career that Lois did. Like I never got the feeling that she was trying to be a journalist.
No.
But like she wanted her dad to be proud of her. She wanted
something she was proud of.
Something that she was proud of. But like she also wanted something that people would be proud of. Like she kind of knew that her dad was not really doing the right stuff.
Yeah. But she didn't know how to.
And like she was still finding her voice to figure out how to combat him. But like,
yeah, you're right.
You could see her getting there. Like she wasn't there by the end of the movie still.
But she made the right strides to get there.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
What other thoughts? Because I feel like we've spent a long time talking about Lacey.
You're right. Like, because what are we supposed to say about this movie? It was hot garbage minus Lacey.
Yes.
Lacey was the best part of this whole effing movie. You're 100%
I've just convinced him.
You did. You fully convinced me. I think this movie's garbage. I don't like it. What I did like about it, and I can say it because of the synopsis, is I liked what it did with the idea of going back to my Superman 3 rant of Clark talking to drunk Superman, divorced dad Superman talking to Clark and the humanity thing.
Yeah.
I like that this one tried to expound upon that idea of Superman being this godlike creature. And he can help the world, because he can take on these nuclear weapons, get rid of them to create peace. But then who is like, for what reason?
Yeah.
And this leads into the trailer of James Gunn's Superman. Who was he representing?
Yeah.
And like when they were doing that,
what country is he a
citizen of or representing? And I like that exchange in the trailer of James Gunn's like, I was just representing me because I was doing good. Yeah. And that's something like we didn't see there in 4.
Yeah, they didn't get into that.
They didn't get into that, which I could see why they didn't get into it, because people don't know how to do that or didn't want to at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. We're like, I can help people.
I feel like at the time it also wasn't the same global stage that it is now.
It was right around the Cold War though. So
yes, but these comics were American and they were made for America. And I feel like a lot of people weren't asking the same questions that are more widespread now.
Okay, I follow what you're saying now. I was like, I don't know, because
I think that the questions were starting to be there, and I'm sure that there were plenty of people who were just like, but wait, what about this?
Sure.
But that has such a bigger socially conscious thought now.
Yes, it does. 100%.
Like, it's much more top of mind now than I feel like it was in the 80s.
Probably.
Or at least when I remember being conscious of things in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. And there was a different thought processes and how we would look at things. Yeah, 100%. I get you what you're saying on that one.
In my sheltered childhood experience.
I'm trying to I promise you I'm trying to move away from Lacey, but I just found it your points are so dead on, and I see where you're coming from. So I'm like, how do I readjust my head real fast to kind of get us on? Let's just talking about this talking about this movie without going fudge. I mean, what a beautiful point that you like. How you felt about drunk dad, divorced dad, and Clark talking is how I felt about Lacey until you just said it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I feel like I'm the dumbass because I just missed that.
It's very interesting that that's just how our brains work.
Yeah,
like you are very much the one to latch onto the divorced dad Superman talking with Clark.
Yeah.
And like seeing all of the possibilities and the thought process behind that and everything else. And then I'm here just like, oh yeah, Lacey, she's a career woman. She's looking for love. Like she's very successful. She's got her dad's money, but like she's also trying to make her own thing.
Yeah. And I will say, just a little spoiler. I don't give a damn anymore. At the end of it, I really did like she was standing up to her dad.
Yeah.
And like there was this point in my head, I'm like, man, I missed something then, because I unfortunately wrote her off as the blonde bimbo when she called in Clark. And I'm like, no, I don't like this. I don't really care.
Yeah. And she did the Jeff Goldblum up on her desk. Just
how you doing? What's going on?
You like this?
Oh, sailor.
No, like she started to turn around in the gym.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. She did.
When the two of them were in the gym, and
she didn't like the
trainer that she knew.
Yeah, was more of a jerk than she registered, because Clark, who is a good guy, was being treated like shit. Yeah. She didn't see that because she's only been around jerks. Holy mother of God!
And also just her interactions with Lois. Like at the beginning, no, there was nothing.
I hate you. You're great. I love you. You're right.
Like she and Lois weren't really getting along at the beginning, but then by the end, like there was a budding friendship there. And it was really cool to see.
When did Superman learn Russian? Let's
Oh, seriously.
They were so okay.
He knew every language in the world.
Let's see if we can.
Is there something in Superman's lore? Because I don't know the comics.
Sure.
Is there something in Superman's lore where like his dad instilled every single human language on him, or like was
Jor-El.
he given? Yeah. Did Jor-El give him like all the languages? Like, was he taught that in his pod? Was he like, did he have a magic interpreter that was like injected under his skin as a baby? Because like, how does he speak every language? But because like it kind of makes sense that he speaks English because he was taught that, but I don't know if he was speaking English when he landed on Earth.
Yeah. all great freaking questions. And logically, I follow what you're saying. If Jor-El, as you're flying through space and you're being fed all the stuff of the planet Earth, and you start learning languages, because that's probably
because also Jor-El wouldn't know where he would land.
Exactly, and that's where Superman Red Sun. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That's where that comic comes into play, because Clark doesn't land in rural Kansas. He lands in Russia and becomes a Russian superhero or something like that, if I remember correctly. So that's like where
Red Room type Black Widow,
sort of, yeah, in a way, but yeah. He's not. So the Superman we know, he's the Red Sun, and he is for Russia and stuff like that. So that's where that comic book comes into play. Yeah, I don't know. It was just. God, I'm so stuck on Lacey. You broke me, dog. You broke me. We're so far into this already. Give me a rating. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's just get into the ratings real fast, because so I can kind of reset my head and figure out how to get us forward on like what you like, what didn't you? Well, don't tell me what you like, because it was Lacey, and we're gonna get on another 20-minute conversation on this one, which I'm 100% down. But like, what were other things like minus Lacey that was like, oh, this is actually really, really cool, or good God, what were we thinking?
I mean, the stuff with Lex, like, I'm always gonna like Lex, like everybody will, but he wasn't bald ever.
That was weird.
That was a little strange. He was never bald in this movie, and he just. Okay.
Talk to me.
This was also Lex's best storyline.
Okay, tell me why. Just break me again. Okay, tell me why.
Because he actually did something. He didn't just have a magic black box that was back in his cell that that just happened to be able to follow Superman. Like, he didn't just happen to realize that kryptonite was a thing. Like, there was a line. There was a through point. Like, his breaking out of the high security prison, sure, ridiculous. That's at the very beginning. Not a spoiler.
For John Cryer and all that stuff. Yeah.
But yeah.
You're 100% right. Oh my God, it was a plan he followed through on.
Yeah.
The plan made sense for the most part. Minus cutting some hair. That was weird, but we'll throw that one out the window. It's a superhero movie, and he made something happen that caused actual strife with Superman.
He showed that he was actually a mastermind in this movie. Because in Superman 2, he was just like, oh, here's my white flag of surrender, and he almost sweet-talked Zod into things.
Dog, you were absolutely savage, and I'm here for it. You're right. I'm not going to fight you against this, because you're spitting truths that are 100% correct.
This is the only movie that he has been above ground.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. That vitamin D really helped his brain.
Right? And like interacted with other criminals.
Yes.
Showed that he could get the best of those criminals.
Had a
showed
plan.
that he was the best and the best criminal mind in the world.
Yeah, he had receipts.
Yeah.
He said it, and he came with the receipts to. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this was the best version of Lex.
Yes.
The best side character.
I wish that we had gotten Otis instead of Lenny.
I do too. I actually have that in my notes. Like, I miss Otis. I miss Miss Tessmacher.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to come out swinging then on this one. I'm going to say this then. This was the worst version of Superman.
Yes.
This was the worst version of Superman, because it felt like they took the term that Lois said in the movie, where he's just a big Boy Scout, to an extreme.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there's anything. Superman is a Boy Scout. I have no problem with that being the thing. I love that about Superman.
But like, he wasn't smart.
Yeah, nothing.
He just like followed what's the good thing. There was no like critical thought, which we've already proven that he's not good with critical thought. We've proved that in 2, the theatrical and the Donner version.
And it was in episode 5 of A Side of Popcorn is when Jon and Rose really broke the internet.
Like, he's not trying to use critical thought to actually help people. He's just like, oh, there are nuclear weapons.
I'm the good guy.
I'm the good guy. I'm going to get rid of them. Everybody will trust me because I'm a Boy Scout.
Oh my God.
I really am a Batman girl, aren't I?
You are a Batman girl. Yeah, you're 100% a Batman girl. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait for Batman. But
the season of Batman is going to be fun.
It is. You're like, again, you're not wrong in your assessment of what you're saying about these individual characters. And what sucks about that is there is a good movie with these specific pillars. Even Lois wasn't too bad. Minus not moving her upper lip from Botox.
God,
Lois wasn't too bad as a character, and everything kind of like was there. But that was the problem. Yeah. It was just there. There was no like cohesion. It didn't really,
of the didn't
storytelling
come together.
Well, Rose.
Yes.
Go ahead and just let's.
Do we want to talk about our ranking?
Let's talk about our ranking. We want to just remind everyone.
Rating system. We have a 10-point rating system. We can go half points. So a 1 is actively harmful to society.
A 2 is toxic and dreadful.
A 3 is awful.
4 is bad.
5 is meh or indifferent.
6 is okay or fine.
7 is good.
8 is great or a bona fide good time.
9 is amazing, fantastic, or brilliant.
And 10 is a masterpiece or a shining star for society.
I'm going to let you go first. What are you rating this movie?
Dog, I sat down at this table ready to just drop a 1. Ready to go, F it. I'm dropping a 1. This was actively harmful to society in the sense of it ruined Superman for 20 years.
Yes, it did. Well, minus we still had Superman the animated series, and we also had Lois and Clark.
That's true. Okay, so we had TV shows.
Yeah, we had some decent TV shows. Smallville came out in that time.
That's true. Smallville did come out at that time. But it ruined Superman movies for 20 years.
Yes.
I literally just read a quote saying Chris Reeves hated this movie.
Yeah.
And it ruined his career or damaged his career really bad. You look at all these different factors of what didn't work.
Yeah.
And it is actively harmful to society. But I have to say it's toxic. It's dreadful. It's a 2. I'll say it's a 1.5. Like how much, because I'm going off of what I felt at the end of our watch long is, well, that happened. And I will never get that hour and a half back. And the only thing, again, I liked about the movie was the slight idea of what we talked about with I'm Superman, I'm the good guy. Here's these nuclear weapons, but never really kind of going past that of just, Boy Scout. And then I liked the line of he is a Boy Scout. Like that's where Lois kind of coined that. Past that, I was like, all right, the graphics were fine. Little more hokey than normal. The fight on the moon with Nuclear Man was one of the dumbest things I've ever watched, and I watched some dumb stuff. The guy who plays Nuclear Man salutes you, my friend, for screaming as much as you did.
Seriously.
And it just fell flat all around, and so my brain really turned off, and I couldn't get it to a point where I turned it off to be entertained. I just turned it off.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna say 1.5.
That's fair.
Rose. Just say it.
I thought it was bad.
Okay, cool.
It's a 4.
I was like,
it's 4.
Oh my God, you're gonna give it a 6, aren't you?
No.
I was like, oh shit.
No, I did enjoy it more than Superman 3.
Sure.
Possibly even more than Superman 2.
Wow.
I think a lot of that is the shorter run time just helps.
Okay.
Because you have to get out You have to get out of all of the things that they did. It was definitely better than Superman 3 to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. And I do like what you're saying. Like some movies, a lot of movies they overstay their welcome.
Yes.
And I will always complain about movies being too long. Like, give me, again, one of my favorite movies is like Born Supremacy. I want to say like an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. Hour and 45. In, out. You told me the story. You got me what I wanted to see. You did a good job with the action. And you got me out of my seat. And I'm like, God damn, that was great. So, and then there's some movies that deserve that. Like, I'm looking at you, Dune. Like, you can give me 8 hours of Dune, and I'm pretty freaking happy. Yeah. Lord of the Rings. You can give me 8 hours of Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty freaking happy. We'll get there. But yeah, Superman is the infancy of making a Superman movie showed directly with infancy. Like how they were young. Like these were the first movies of Superman. And so the idea of like still learning how to make a superhero movie and how this actually works and not even factoring in graphics and all that stuff.
It's still a bad movie. Like but for the early Superman movies, it's one of my favorites.
Okay. Hey, I think you're insane, but I love it.
That's fair.
I love this. That's fair. This is why
I'm not even trying to say that I'm going to like watch this all the time. Fair. Like,
I get that. I just, you're right. Like to each their own, the opinions. And that's what we do here. It's just one of those like, wow, oh my God. But so I get it.
We've kind of already gone into spoiler territory, but
who cares?
Is there like now we're completely spoiler territory? Will this 40-year-old movie. So if you have not watched it, then we're getting into it.
Yep.
John?
Yes.
What happened to Martha? When did she pass? When did he decide?
Start. I was like,
when did Clark decide that he's going to sell the farm?
I was like, where are we starting?
Because like Martha has not been spoken of since Superman 1.
Yes.
When Perry was just like, oh yeah, he's sending half his paycheck back to his mom.
So I don't know.
Where is she?
I don't know why.
She wasn't in 3 at all.
She wasn't in 3. She wasn't in 2. And I don't know. Why'd you say that name?
Seriously.
It was weird that it was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And just kind of happened. This whole idea of like, oh, Clark's selling the farm. And this kind of happened after the sequence of Superman saving the Russian space station.
Yes.
And that was the first, like, you speak Russian?
Speak Russian? Really?
All right. Cool, dude.
Sure.
I don't really care. And like, from there, okay, I will get to, I don't even know where that is actually at. Oh, that is a very small plot. I'm looking at IMDb. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's very small plot line. Clark is back in Smallville. He goes into the barn. He gets a crystal out of his baby pod ship. The spaceship disintegrates.
Oh yeah.
He has a whole conversation with the realtor, and then he's like, no, don't sell it to a big developer. And then we have no idea what happens to the farm.
That's true. And okay, well,
he's only there to get a crystal.
He's only there to get the crystal. He uses his magic eyes to make it disappear. We'll get into the weird freaking music.
Was it? Or is it just because he took out the crystal and that was the end of Krypton and it disintegrated on its own?
I thought they like zoomed in on a shot on Chris.
I could not tell.
And just kind of did his whole like.
They did so many magic eyes thing. I have no idea what was magic eyes and what was circumstance. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And you know what's funny? I'm just thinking about this right now. That conversation with the realtor, I don't want to sell to a big corporation, is the through line to this movie because the what's the company or what's the Lacey Warfield? The Warfields come in and buy
the planet,
Daily Planet.
Yeah.
And so there's this through line of that as well, where Perry gets pissed off and spoilers, he buys the planet back because everyone wants a homegrown in Metropolis paper. And so the banks give me money and I'm going to buy all the shares. So I own you now, Warfield. But I'm going to keep on Lacey.
The majority share.
I'm going to keep Lacey and not Old Man River. That's Perry.
Mr. Warfield.
What was David? David Warfield. Cool, whatever. But yeah, it's okay. Goddamn, we were already all over the place. So we have this idea that through line, and that comes back around a little bit. But then Lex is on the
prison.
chain gang in prison.
But he's not connected to anybody else.
Yeah, he's not connected to anyone else.
It's just his legs are chained together.
Yeah. John Cryer, Lenny,
drives up
and he's got this cool car. And I shit you not, when he started talking, I'm like, oh my God, that is my stupid anime like hero voice that I make, where it's like, oh yeah, dog. I can't believe you want to see this car, man.
Jump in, man.
You want to jump in and listen to it, car? Look at this car, cops. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not how he, yep, it is. It's 100% how he's going to talk to the whole thing. And I like, for life, I was like, what is happening right now? And it's because we find out that Lenny is Lex's nephew.
Yeah. We're
just going to write that bitch off, I guess. Cause I was like, all right, I guess I'm on board with this.
Like, Lex has siblings? Since when? I guess long enough to have an adult child.
Adult child, like, all right, what are we going to do, Uncle Lex? Is this what we're going to be doing? I can't believe it. And I'm like, all right, John Cryer, you can slow your roll on this one.
Oh yeah, then it's back to Metropolis.
Yes.
Lois gets on the subway and there's a train accident because
the guy has
a heart attack
or something. Yeah, the engineer has.
Clark turns into Superman with another backseat. Backseat of a car.
Clark really likes to jump in that backseat.
He really does.
He tries to get action in that backseat. Just doesn't really work out. All the time. Doesn't really work out.
So, he goes through and becomes Superman and goes to save the day. Fantastic. Everybody gets to the Daily Planet and they find out that Warfield and Lacey are there to take over everything.
Yes.
Then we cut to a school.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to find a better plot synopsis where, this Daily Planet's gone bust. It bought out by David Warfield, a media mogul. Warfield fires Perry and replaces him with Lacey.
Yes.
She becomes the editor. Okay.
Editor-in-chief.
David's blonde and beautiful daughter. Although good-hearted compared to her father, Lacey hits on Clark.
Yes. And it's weird.
It's weird. It's very, very weird. Okay. Yes. And then now I remember where we're at. And you're right. Like we cut to a school and we're like, what again?
Why is there a school?
There's a lot of what is happening in this movie right now. And it is just this.
There's just this child teaching other children. She looked very young.
She did look very young.
I'm just saying. And the one kid is just like, I know who could solve this whole arms race thing. Which, that was weird.
These are the nuclear arms. And we could write to our senators or congressmen, but Superman.
I'm going to write to Superman. He's the only one that can save us. And it's just like, you know what? You're probably right, small child.
And that's the interesting one too, is like when this kid writes the letter to Superman, it goes to the Daily Planet. And Lacey's like, wait, why are we getting Superman's mail?
Why is it going to care of Lois Lane?
Yeah. And you're like, what the hell's happening again?
Yeah.
And it was one of those, the David Warfield?
Yes.
Takes this and spins it because he would rather sell papers than sell truth. So we're already starting on a very fun misinformation in the 80s. I'm like, hey, look at that. Look what came back around.
He very much gave me Daily Bugle versus Spider-Man vibes.
Yeah, he really did have J.J. Jameson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some J.J. Jameson, but like not
the Bugle was always supposed to be a
Bugle was a paper.
Really? It wasn't a tabloid?
I thought.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I
don't know.
Look, man, you broke me on Lacey. I'm questioning everything in life now. All right. It might be a tab, but I don't know. All right. I'm sure we'll figure that out.
You figure out what happened next because I don't remember.
Okay. So David was pretty much saying, hey, you know what? Superman didn't respond to this kid. So we're going to spin it saying, hey, guess what, kid? Superman hates you. You're all screwed for nuclear war. And that sells so many papers and all that crap happens where it comes to the point where Superman goes, oh no, I'm going to go talk to the UN, I guess. Like,
is that what was next?
Yeah, it was like,
okay, I have the hair thing next.
Oh, was it the hair flare?
No, I'm sure. I know that I missed bits here and there. I was not trying to necessarily go exactly in order.
So there's a point, and I'm just reading this from fandom, so take a grain of salt, everyone. Results in a public outrage to the point Superman cannot ignore it. He flies to the United Nations, where he meets Jimmy and commends him for making a difference.
Where he what?
Commends him for making a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Inside, okay, it was the UN.
The hair thing was before that.
The hair thing was before that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was like right after the school thing. I've got Lex is going to steal the single strand of Superman's hair from the Museum of Metropolis.
That's right.
And then I have the new boss really likes Clark. It's a little creepy.
It is kind of funny, like.
Then the new boss.
So yeah, we got the new boss.
Yeah. Then Superman talks with Lois and kisses her, and she gets amnesia again, and it's just what?
Okay.
Why is this a thing?
We're just off the rails. Let's just talk about that real fast.
Yeah.
It was that weird. So Clark and Lois were going to go get an award. Man, we're all over the place. And Clark didn't want to go because he was stressed about the nuclear thing, the nuclear wars or nuclear bombs.
Well, he was getting.
Superman
was getting hate, and he didn't know how to deal with it.
And so he's
got ego issues.
So he talks to Lois, and Lois like
Batman, on the other hand, is just like, yeah, they're all against me. I don't care.
Oh my God.
That's why Batman is better.
So he talks to Lois. Jesus Christ. We only have an hour. We have 20 minutes left of this podcast.
Come on.
Talks to Lois, and Lois is like, oh, I always remembered. And so they went on their flying journey with Lois's theme. And then, what would you do? And Lois is like, oh, I trust you to do what's right and what's good. And he goes, all right, cool, thanks. Kisses her and completely goes amnesia, like, and the amnesia kiss again from Poison Ivy. And you're like, okay, I guess we're just kind of pulling out every kind of magical spell we can think of. And then, so Superman flies to the UN, meets this kid.
Yeah. And like, there's no explanation that the UN leaders were just going to meet that day, and that's why the child was there.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. So
who knows?
It was just one of those. All right,
he addresses the leaders. He's like, I'm getting rid of all the nuclear weapons.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of the nuclear weapons. And then he takes the nuclear weapons, all of them, and not all of them because Lex is still there, and throws them into the sun.
Yes.
Everyone's like, yes, we will help you, Superman, and we will launch these nuclear weapons for you to catch in space and throw them into the sun.
I love my notes sometimes. I've got Lex is going to make a deal with arms dealers.
Yes.
Then my next note, is Lex's nephew smart? That doesn't seem likely.
It really...
He made some kind of comment about like the nuclear weapons or something, and it was just like, that actually made sense.
Yeah, so bouncing off of that idea of Lex stole Clark or Superman's hair because Superman donated it to the museum, he is going to Lex is taking that hair and pretty much genetically engineering with a computer, throwing this into...
My brain blipped out so hard on this.
Put
it onto the last nuclear bomb.
That Superman's got to catch. Throw all of the rest of those nuclear bombs into the sun.
No, he already threw the rest of them. This was the last.
Oh, this was the last one. Yeah, it was the last one. He just threw it into the sun.
Yeah.
And because of Superman's hair, which is reacting to the yellow sun alongside a nuclear bomb, which is being thrown into the sun, which is a giant nuclear bomb, somehow
that creates life.
The X-Men happen because it's an evolutionary leap. And that's kind of what I put in my notes. Alex's idea is X-Men.
Yes.
And so that's what happens with that. And Nuclear Man is born.
Nuclear Man comes back to Lex. Lex's nephew might be dead. Nuclear Man has stolen Lex's voice. I hope this doesn't last the whole movie. Spoilers, it did.
It was like Frankenstein.
And he always needs to be in the sun in order to move. That's quite a weakness. These are my notes, guys.
Nuclear Man looked like Billy Idol, David Bowie, and a Muppet had a baby. That was my note.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
I
that.
was just like, I don't know what
Yeah.
we're going for on this thing. This is stupid. Nuclear Man needs to fight in the sun. I have that as my notes. And so, like, what happens is then you got this, not tiff, but just Lacey likes Clark, doesn't like, okay with Superman, but
Superman's fine.
Clark more.
Yeah.
Lois likes Superman more than Clark. They're going to have a weird double date to talk to Superman
And Clark.
Clark, and the hijinks happen again, which I was actually okay with the hijinks on this one. This actually worked for me.
I thought that the whole double date was endearing. Very awkward.
Very awkward, but it worked.
But like cute in that, like it was one of my favorite versions of mistaken identity and one person has to be two.
Yes.
Because most of the time that doesn't work for me in movies.
Mm-hmm.
This one I didn't hate because it was just such a, Clark.
Yeah.
How that's such a Clark thing.
Yeah, like we turned into that a little more.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't this is oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. This is the first movie that I didn't feel my catchphrase for this season was whoopsie daisy or whoopsie daisy. Didn't feel like this was a thing here.
Not really.
It all just kind of was like it happened. It didn't make sense, but I was okay with it because it didn't feel forced for the most part. It was just bad thoughts.
Yeah.
Like nothing felt forced. It was just, again, Nuclear Man needs to fight in the sun. Clark and Superman need to be in the same place at the same time, but you can't do it. And you have two people vying for the same person, but different identities.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool. And then just kind of going back and forth and all this. And
there were vignettes of good ideas in this awful movie.
And it's like through this sequence of the double date, I liked the callback of Lex's frequency.
Yeah.
That I was like, all right, hit me with a little bit of nostalgia bait. I'm cool with that one. I think that was actually a lot of fun. Come see me, Superman. Let's go ahead and fight.
It was finally something that was actually established in the world previously.
Yes. And I really, really like that. So
yeah.
Clark, Superman goes to whatever tower they're in. I don't even know. And there's Nuclear Man. And we're skipping over an entire arms dealer subplot because it was just Lex going.
It was weak.
It was weak, but it did make sense. Like Lex bested them and he was the criminal mastermind. So that's all you really need to know about that. And Englishman
that's all
played
that
Frenchman.
happened.
But yeah, then there was this the introduction of Nuclear Man to Superman, and they had a fight, which was that there?
It happened.
It happened. And so for some odd reason, Nuclear Man has claws.
Yes.
Like Lady Deathstrike claws.
Yes.
And scratched Superman.
On the neck.
On the neck, which
made him grow old.
Yeah. He got sick because the radiation caused pain to Superman. I didn't
understand that.
I think that's what that's what I kind of understood is like the radiation.
That's fair. I was just like, poison?
Yeah.
But how? This is Superman. He gets power from our yellow sun, from our red dwarf sun.
So yeah, worldwide battle happens with Nuclear Man and Superman. While Nuclear Man kind of picks up the Statue of Liberty and was going to throw it.
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, what am I missing?
But Lois will save him. Lois will totally save Superman. She goes to see Clark and like talks him into being okay. And this is like right before he grows old. Like he's been scratched. He's been homesick. He hasn't been returning her calls. She comes to talk to him and like give him a little pep talk. And then he finally decides to fight back. He uses his crystal. I also have in here, now Nuclear Man has the hots for the new Daily Planet publisher. Then I have Lacey. I finally figured out her name at this point in the movie.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with this movie.
Yeah.
We have that fight scene. But, okay, we're all back. Slow down. Slow down.
Uh-huh.
Why the shit did Clark get super old?
He was poisoned.
Does that cause old?
Does Superman's kiss cause amnesia? The answer is to both is yes in this movie. Do I understand it? No. Am I supposed to understand it? I don't think so. I also don't understand Nuclear Man's powers. So now they have their fight. They grab the Statue of Liberty. They fight back and forth about the Statue of Liberty. I think this is where it was.
Are we talking about the Great Wall of China?
There was the Great Wall of China in there too.
That they like blew up or like destroyed.
Yeah, so Nuclear Man destroyed it. Apparently Superman was supposed to build it real fast, but they ran out of super special effects money.
So they just kind of
used magic eyes.
The magic. Oh my God.
It was cheaper.
It was, yeah, that's fine.
Cheaper.
That's fine.
They just had to reverse the footage to build it back up.
And then, yep. I love that there's this point where Nuclear Man develops a crush on Lacey.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
It was so weird.
And that's how Superman got Nuclear Man stuck in an elevator.
Yes.
Away from the sun.
No. Clark. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Away from the sun. And
then put him on the light side of the moon, even though there's a dark side of the moon that we could have put him on.
And then we have another battle.
Yes.
On the moon, which again, I love when you can tell it's a set. I do. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite things when you can tell it's a set. But there's a point when you're like, we need to reshoot this.
That moon gravity, man.
Being able to see the rafters kind of broke me a little bit. I was like, all right, guys, or the cabling.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, all right.
So many times. It was hilarious.
And so what happens? There's this whole fight in space.
Uh-huh.
Nuclear Man goes and grabs Lacey. Like, they fight. He freezes Superman with his super breath.
Yes.
And then grabs Lacey.
Yes.
And takes her back into space.
Why?
Again, she's dead.
Yes.
She's a popsicle.
She should be.
She should be a popsicle. Her head should have exploded.
Yes.
I don't know what we're doing anymore. And then somehow, what was it? What did Superman do?
I don't even have it in my notes.
You know,
he breaks free of the ice.
No, I remember now.
What was it?
He takes the sun or moon and makes a solar eclipse.
That's what it was.
Because we're making fun of the
firebenders.
We're making fun of the firebenders not being able to do fire.
And how much he just messed up all the tides on the earth.
The world is dead.
Yes.
The world is screwed.
The world has flooded because the moon has been moved.
Moved out of orbit.
Yes.
In its time, in its flow. And like, I'm going to do this to destroy Nuclear Man, but in turn, killing the world.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so he punches Nuclear Man. There's something to the effect of he takes Nuclear Man back down to Metropolis and throws him into a nuclear power plant, which powers Metropolis again.
Yes.
And Lacey's fine.
Yes.
Cut to the final scene that Perry got the money and bought out all the shares.
Yep.
And now owns whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
The Daily Planet.
And then you want my notes for the end?
Sure.
Perry uses his journalism degree to get the banks to loan him enough money to become the majority shareholder. Superman gives a rousing speech.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was hey, I wanted to bring peace, but I can't be the one that brings that peace. It must be the people and the leaders listening
right
to the people.
Your leaders.
And then I was just like, all right, dude, I get it. That's
then to
fine.
wrap it all up.
Okay.
Just as Lex and Lenny are about to get away, Superman apprehends them. Lenny goes to a school for boys. Lex goes back to the same high security digging holes place that he was at the beginning of the movie. My words left me.
So this is going to be a turning point for a side of popcorn where, F it, I don't think I'm going to ever pull up someone breaking down. We're going to do it ourselves. We're going to turn into, look, we need to turn into chaos.
Yes.
And I think we should turn into the chaos. And I'm just trying to figure out what the hell we watched.
Yes.
So I think this is a great idea. We're learning with this podcast. Mm-hmm. So you tell us what you want because We want to do this, and I think it'll be fun.
Yes.
F it, I don't give a damn anymore.
We got to do the popcorn and kernel.
We are. We're going to do the popcorn and
Okay.
kernel right now. That's exactly what we're going to do. At the end of every single one of our podcasts, we give you the pop, the corn, the kernel. What the pop or what the kernel is something negative or just something that didn't go the way you have hoped. This also might live in your head rent free for how bad it was. It's a bit that gets stuck in your teeth and you want to work it free so you can get on with your day. I did not know you added stuff to this. So when I read it, I was like, that's new.
That is not new. You have struggled over it the past 3 times.
I'm also reading the wrong one. I'm reading from our podcast one and not
We
our
have
notes
it
one.
in a few different places, okay? The corn is an opportunity for improvement. It's what could have been done better. It's a character or storyline that you wish had been explained or developed more. It's that bit that never popped, but it had the potential to pop.
And the pop, a positive highlight, possibly lives rent-free in your head. It's the idea or theme that came to full fruition, and you love it.
Full fruition.
Fruition?
There's a hated R in there. It's okay.
Dog, I'm
What
from
was
New
your
York.
kernel?
Screw you, dog.
What was your kernel?
Listen to this movie. I'm just going to say it. This movie was the kernel. Like, now, especially now, because we talked about it. And we, there is a very interesting movie in this. And like we said in a couple episodes ago, movies live and die on cutting room floors. Mm-hmm. What's even more fascinating about this movie is that you can see glimmers of like, man, if we massaged this and we really kind of took the essence of this sequence or this phrase and built it out to make it a very interesting movie while adding in these layers of Lacey being very interesting, of what a god can do trying to actually bring peace, and what does that actually mean in a world of fear and hate and what that. And so like, it upsets me that like, man, I can see something very interesting being said in this movie. Yeah. And not all movies need to say something. Let me also preface that. But they were trying to, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like even at an hour and a half with this, it's tight 90.
Yeah.
Just still sucked beyond belief. What's your kernel?
Nuclear Man getting Gene Wilder to dub over his lines. It was awful.
I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to say that to me one more time.
So Nuclear Man.
Yes.
Had Gene Wilder's voice. So Gene Wilder had to voice all of Nuclear Man's lines.
What?
This was a plot point. I read it out in my notes like 20 minutes ago.
You're saying Gene Wilder. You mean Gene Hackman?
Hackman, yes.
Okay, there we go. I was like, Gene Wilder was in this movie?
I don't know names.
I was like, holy shit. Where did I miss that?
Nuclear Man had Lex's voice.
There we go. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. Now I'm with you. I was like, Gene Wilder was here?
Sorry.
I was very confused.
That's what you should have started with. I just don't know names, guys. It's okay.
Oh, God. Give me your corn.
Oh, Nuclear Man's powers. I just wanted more definition, you know?
That's fair.
It was really hard to come up with anything because the movie was bad.
That's what I put.
Mm-hmm.
I put for my corn is when the whole movie sucks, there's really nothing that could have been the corn for me.
Yeah.
Like when this whole movie is like this bad, there's nothing that I've been like, all right, man, you could have.
Because I feel like Lacey had a nice arc, so like she wasn't the corn.
No. And
Lex had a solid plot.
But it was solid. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I hate to say this, maybe this is the first time I say Superman.
Yeah.
Superman was the corn. Like I see again that idea of like I understand where you wanted to go with this, and you just didn't do it. So the potential of we know of 3 movies.
Yeah.
Chris Reeves is effing Superman.
Yeah.
We know what he can be.
Yeah.
And it just feels like the big-headed I cashed the check.
Yeah.
With Chris Reeves on this one, and that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
But I got to say what I got to say. So yeah, it is Chris Reeves or just the idea of Superman and stuff. The worst part is him playing Clark was great.
Yeah. This was one of the best movies for Clark.
Yeah. But this movie as Superman was just kind of mid.
Yeah.
So my corn then, I'm rephrasing it, is going to be Superman. Superman was my corn.
Yeah.
And my pop, I have the call out of him being a Boy Scout. I liked that.
Yeah.
But woman, I almost dropped an F-bomb. You freaking convinced me. It's Lacey.
It was the double date.
The double date and
Like,
Lacey in general. Oh my God.
Lacey in general, but honestly, the pinnacle for me was that double date scene. Like, that is what clinched it for me because like that's where Lois was like really trying to help her and just like telling Clark even, hey, this girl is really into you. Like, be nice to her. Yeah. Compliment her dress.
And
like,
you're right, because Clark just kind of said, oh, that's a cute dress. But then
Superman came in
and said, actually, hey, you look good in that, or not even look good in that dress, but that dress compliments you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And Lacey wasn't feeling it.
No.
Because she wanted Clark. Fudge.
Yeah. Like, the double date was what clinched it for me about Lacey. And like the way that she didn't get mad that Clark kept on leaving. It was always just, oh, that's Clark. Like, she was just so accepting of him and all his bumbling and his faults. And it's just like, man, why couldn't she have been just like there 3 movies ago? Because that could have been interesting to have like her with Clark and Lois with Superman and just like, what are the back and forths here?
What's that dynamic?
What is that dynamic?
What's that dynamic of the 3-person love triangle, which is actually 4-person?
Yes, the 4-person love triangle that's actually 3 people.
Actually 3. Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
Fudge, that's a great.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say it, but you convinced me that this movie was a little bit better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I still hold my 1.5, but
yeah,
there were more shining moments to this movie than I actually anticipated.
Fair.
And I didn't see it. So I appreciate, like, yeah, you're right. Lacey was a great character, and that scene, that sequence of the double date makes a lot more sense now with the context behind of me just paying attention. I'll be honest. I'll say it. I don't give a damn. Holy hell. We did it. Superman 4.
Yay!
The side of popcorn. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you. We'll see you in 2 weeks with Superman Returns with a side of popcorn. And don't forget, please pick up that CouchCapades Tier 2 membership so you can do the watch along with us. If not, hey, don't worry about it. Like, subscribe, share, comment here on YouTube. Do the same thing over on the podcast services where we're everywhere. We love you guys. Go enjoy some movies, go eat some popcorn, and we'll see you later.
Bye.